Hey folks, Mad Cat here from The Balcony Show. Now, if you haven't heard about Anchor, well then I gotta tell you, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First, it's free. And who the hell doesn't love free? I know I do. I mean, come on. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And talk about doing the legwork. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Cheers and be well, and keep listening to us right here on The Balcony Show.
And now it's time for Indie Radar with Bo Summer.
Welcome back to Indie Radar. This week on The Balcony Show, we have a very special guest, actually a returning guest, Larry Dvoskin, who's going to give us a quick little lesson about non-fungible tokens, NFTs, and it seems like, Larry, a few months ago, I had done an Indie Radar about NFTs, and I just started learning about them. I saw something in some industry email notification, and I started reading up on it. I'm still not able to quite wrap my head around exactly what it is and how can it benefit indie artists, or can it, can you help us navigate exactly what NFTs are? How is it affecting the music industry? And I know it goes beyond the music industry. I think I just saw something on the news yesterday that Tiger Woods is getting involved with NFTs. So go figure.
Yes, well, thank you. I'm actually have recently taken on a role as Vice President of Strategic Projects for a company called NFT Oasis, which is doing exactly this. So you've come to the right place. And if I could simplify it for everyone, when you, let's say, buy a piece of art, let's say there's an auction at Christie's, you get a certificate that says this is actually the thing that is real. It was created by this person, and you are the sole owner of this particular piece of work. So all that an NFT is, if I really boil it down to its simplest terms, is a digital certificate of ownership.
Okay.
Now, NFTs could be one-off thing, like you buy a Picasso and you're the only owner, or it could be a series of things like artists have done before, where they paint a whole sort of limited edition of things, like Andy Warhol's soup cans. They're all different colors and different people own different versions. But what the NFT is it's a digital certificate of ownership that is on a technology called blockchain. And what blockchain is a link of computers that all verify each other that your transaction is real, and it creates a record that can't be erased. And it's a little different than what we have now with most tech companies and most of the things we use online that are hackable. And it's a little different type of technology that's much harder to hack, much harder to fake, because it creates this long record of authenticity. So what people have started doing is they've started first with little art and little kind of cute pictures of punks and apes and penguins and things, and they've been putting them up online for sale. And what it does is it creates a community. Like, people have been rallying around these things and finding a kind of a gold rush. And like all gold rushes, it has its moments where it's like, stick your pick in the ground, you hit a piece of gold. And so this may come, may go in waves, but the idea of NFT is here to stay. And here's how it benefits music artists, and it can really help, is that right now, the gatekeepers of the music business, the record labels, Spotify, things like that, are so it's like a traffic jam. There's so much traffic on them. 40,000 songs a day come on Spotify.
Wow.
So people have been, for instance, being discovered for years on other alternative things. People have been discovered from YouTube. People have been now discovered from TikTok. There are people who were early adopters on TikTok, and suddenly they have 20 million fans and followers. And the record companies then come knocking and say, hey, Madison Beer, hey, this person, that person, why don't you do a song? Why don't we do a record deal? Because you already have an audience to buy it. So NFTs are what's called the bleeding edge of technology, in that people who are now getting into it will potentially be next year or the year after Grammy nominees. So it's an incredible thing that is just at its very beginning. And the thing about this accelerated technology we're having now is that the people who are early adopters, people who got into Instagram first, became Instagram stars. And by the time, for instance, with me, by the time I got to Instagram, it was millions and millions of people. And I'm like waving from the back of the room saying, hey, what about me? But right now in the NFT world, it's a wild west, and anybody can start creating their NFTs on, a host of different platforms.
So how do you start?
So how do you start is there's, if it's okay, I'm going to mention a couple of names of a couple of websites for your listeners to check out that are the legitimate ones. They're not nothing scammy, but they're the big ones. There is obviously a website called OpenSea, as in the ocean, SEA.io, as in Iowa, Oregon, OpenSea.io. They had $1 billion worth of NFT transactions last month, in the month of August.
Wow.
That's big freaking business. $1 billion worth of NFTs traded hands on OpenSea in 1 month alone. Now, the record business is only in total like maybe a $3 or $4 billion a year industry worldwide. So a website just selling NFTs that's almost 25 to 30% of that is a big thing to take a look at. There's another website that's called One Of, as if like this is the only one, oneof.com. They raised $66 million. Quincy Jones is a sort of mentor backer of it. I bought an NFT by the artist Doja Cat, and I think Billie Eilish now has an NFT on One Of, and it's geared more toward music makers and music creators. And right now they're, to roll it out, to get the attention and the press and the notoriety, they're rolling out the big names like Billie Eilish, but soon their model is to let everybody in, to let the average independent artist, the person trying to get noticed or even make a living from their music. And what they'll do is they'll help you. They have, tutorials and they have instructions. So you can go and sign up like you sign up to any website, and they'll show you how to take one of your pieces of music and put it online, and then what's called minting, which is where you take it from an MP3 or a WAV file and you turn it into this digital asset, and then you set the price. And the price is actually in cryptocurrency. It could be Ethereum or Bitcoin or Tezos or Polygon. Now, all of these weird sounding names are assets that are traded like gold or silver that are actually worth billions of dollars in total. And what NFTs have done have given them a reason to exist. Up until now, people talk about Bitcoin, and they say, oh, scammers use it, and this or that. And it was really just something that was intended to be like the euro or the dollar or the yen. But it just turned out to be a way to make money. I bought Bitcoin almost a year ago when it was at $9,000 a coin, and I could just say I'm going to buy $100 worth. It's at $43,000 today.
Wow!
So,
oh my goodness!
And it's down. And $43,000 is down.
Right.
So just imagine if I bought that. Let's say I put $1 million into Bitcoin a year ago, it would be worth $4,300,000 today. So that's good eating, as they say.
Yeah.
So it's attracted a lot of people to invest because you're making so much more money. But at the same time, there hasn't been a real use case for it until NFTs came along.
Right.
And the wonderful thing about it for musicians is that NFTs are just pieces of digital content. It could be a video by an NFL player. It could be a shot that Tiger Woods did that helped him win a tournament. It could be, anything.
So, Larry, where can people go to get this information from you? Do you have a website? Do you have something where if somebody really wants to dig deeper?
Yes, several things. One is the company that I've been consulting for, which is called NFT Oasis, exactly how it sounds, N like Nancy, F like Frank, T like Tom, oasis.co. There's no M at the end. It's just CO. It's sort of the new version
.co, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it explains a whole thing that ties in with NFTs, which is people are, you know how people have been really big on Twitch and video games, and people are playing video
Yes.
games. What's happening now with this other trendy term called the metaverse, which is really where you can go into the computer in real time and interact with people instead of just sort of like playing, PlayStation or Fortnite or something. You can go in. And so what's been happening, and I'm sure people know about this, or maybe if you don't, it's news to you, but people like Ariana Grande are doing a concert in the metaverse where her fans come from all around the world and see her perform live, and it's also live streamed.
How do you get to the metaverse?
Well, there's a few things. NFT Oasis will lead you in
Okay.
to the metaverse. Obviously, there are other sites like Fortnite and Epic, which is the big one that has people like Travis Scott and Ariana Grande doing concerts. There's an entire world of companies. So, I mean, one of the things you can do is just Google metaverse companies, and you'll find a lot of things. But what we're doing right now is we had a concert with Imogen Heap, who is, a Grammy-winning artist from England who had she was one of the first people to actually mint an NFT. She came in and did a live concert. And then got to actually step out as an avatar. It's literally like being in a video game. It's literally like being in this fantasy world. But we created this forest in nature with lakes with fish swimming, and you could move around. And then she came out. It was someone's birthday. She sang "Happy Birthday" in the metaverse to one of her fans.
Oh, that is really neat. Well,
yeah.
Larry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I can certainly probably stay on the phone for the next 2 hours with you learning about this stuff. So you definitely have dropped some websites and keywords that we are probably going to Google, and we'll definitely put them up on our balcony page to share with our listeners and our fans that follow us, and try to, dig a little bit deeper and help some other musicians out that may want to get involved, because this sounds, like you said earlier, you made a reference to, maybe getting early on the bandwagon to something that's just going to be ginormous, and probably sooner than later. I know NFTs is a very, new term, but it's starting to make its way into mainstream, and you're hearing about it. It's just, I don't think enough people know about it or understand it, but I would imagine that's coming soon. Like sooner than later for the common folk, to say, oh yeah, I've heard of NFTs, or even musicians to even get involved. So we appreciate your time and your knowledge.
Yeah.
You're definitely, obviously, very well versed in NFTs. So if it's all right with you, we might just have you back on the show again. First, because we love you.
Well,
And
I love talking to you guys. So I want to let you know that this is crossing over right now. This is what's called Web 3.0. We've had up until now, social media sites and it's what's called the bleeding edge, where you're out at, it's sort of like Star Trek. You're out at the final frontier, and that's where we are right now.
Yeah.
Time magazine. The magazine of record, where if you're on the cover, that's kind of like, I'm on the cover of Time. I made it. Right. Tomorrow, they are dropping NFTs. It's called NFT Pieces, and they're doing it with a collection of artists. And so this is actually what you just mentioned. This is the bleeding edge. And what I mean by that is musicians can just poke around online, find music NFT sites. There are different ones for different things. Dapper Labs is for sports. One of which has Billie Eilish and Doja Cat is for musicians. NFT Oasis is doing both. And if anyone needs to even ask a question, I'm going to be as bold and crazy on radio to say you can actually contact me, Larry, at nftoasis.co, as in C like cat, O like orange, and I can answer any questions. But it's really an opportunity for the 98% of music makers wondering, how do I make it? How do I get through the noise? I tell you, 2 years from now, somebody's going to be on stage at the Grammys saying, I made it because people discovered my NFTs and rallied around it, and I
Wow.
made money and I made press, and now I'm here at the Grammys.
And you heard it right here on the balcony, because I'm certain that that will happen. And it's just a matter of time. And I would even imagine at some point when that does happen, there's still going to be people who are going to be like, what's an NFT? You know, I mean, this whole, you know, trying to wrap your head around it is a little difficult. But anyway, so again, we want to say thank you so much for your time. And I know we'll have you back on our show. And hopefully at that point, you know, we're all going to have a part of this NFT world.
Yeah, maybe the balcony can go on the NFT world.
Yeah, you never know.
I don't want to give you an idea, but the balcony show can certainly drop a whole bunch of NFTs.
Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah, of course. Anything,
We're not recording this anymore, so.
Okay, yeah, you guys can like just take picture, screenshots, things, even pieces of dialogue, anything that's creative content can be turned into an NFT.
Yeah.
And it's usually not a long thing. It's usually like a Vine video. It's usually like 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah, as I've been sitting here like listening to you talk, like, you know, I mean, because I do photography and stuff like that, so. I definitely want to look into seeing how I can run those two into one another.
Yeah, and I should have mentioned, but there's a sort of like how people are on Instagram or they're on TikTok. Right. There's a social media Discord, and it's sort of like Reddit, but Discord is where the NFT community gathers, and it's something you might want to mention if you go back on and say, hey, we're so happy to have Larry, but we wanted to also mention, like, it's really community driven. You know, like there are these bored apes, these just pictures of apes. They're worth hundreds of thousands of dollars now. Like they started at nothing.
Now,
it's because
how does that work? Like how does like the NFT actually translate into real money?
Well, what happens is people go on this OpenSea. They mint 10,000 different variations, like Andy Warhol soup cans, of this little cartoon of an ape, and sometimes it's wearing a crown, sometimes it's wearing a fedora, sometimes it's smoking a cigar or has like pearls and lipstick on. And different people buy them for a little bit amount of money. Then they put it back on sale on their website, and people buy it for more money, which is Ethereum. And then right on your page, you can instantly click, and it goes from the cryptocurrency of Ethereum into cash. And you can click again, and it goes right into your bank account.
Wow.
So it's very, very easy. It's just like transferring money between your bank accounts.
Wow.
So the balcony show, we could, like clips of the show, we could actually sell.
Yes, absolutely.
But not the music, see, because we don't own the music.
Right.
No, but all the
our dialogue.
but all the in-between stuff that never
Yeah,
never makes the
especially
air.
that the world never hears.
yes, especially this stuff that we were like joking around about. It's really anything is possible right now. It's a Wild West. It's wide open.
Well, I know for me, I definitely got some looking into to do, because I screwed the pooch 10 years ago by not starting a YouTube account way back then.
Yeah.
And I always kicked myself in the ass that I should have done it, because it was way before they made all the changes, and it was so much easier to make money on YouTube with content back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, now they have all these different restrictions and stuff like that. But
well, listen, Larry, we have to go because we have another interview to do here. But I want to thank you so much for your time. And
it's great. And definitely, any of you reach out to me privately, and I'm happy to spend as much time walking you through the world of NFTs and helping you get set up in every way that I can. I'm here to be of service to you in every way.
That's
wow,
awesome.
Thank you so much.
Because Balcony Show isn't just a place where I'm interviewed. We're family here, so let's rock and roll and make the world a better place.
We need to.
We feel the same way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All
You
right.
are so
You're like
awesome,
one of our favorite
Larry.
interviews, Larry.
All right.
All right, so you
take
have a
care,
great
everybody.
evening. Tell
right.
the mayor Hi.
I will.
Thank you, Larry, so much.
All right, take
So
care.
have a
All
great
right.
night.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.